Next up is Will Smith and I, Robot. This is just a fun sci-fi action movie. I'm a big Will Smith fan, as you know, so I had to pick this one up. Another one of those robots taking over, technology going haywire kind of thing. I think this is a great sci-fi action film, one of the better ones that have come out in recent times. And next up is Dolph Lundgren in Command Performance. I haven't seen this one. This was a blind buy. Apparently Dolph Lundgren plays a rock and roll drummer and terrorists take over the stadium before the band is getting ready to play. It just looks like a crazy over-the-top action flick. I like Dolph Lundgren. You know, he's not a great actor, but for nostalgia purposes, all the ones from back in the day. I loved him in Punisher and Masters of the Universe. I love both those movies. I'm not talking about the Punishers from these days. You gotta go back to the 80s, late 80s for that Punisher. And Masters of the Universe, I know it's cheesy fun, but I love that movie. Dolph Lundgren for nostalgia factor. You know, some of the more popular ones are Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Steven Seagal, which I can't stand Steven Seagal personally. You don't buy Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, or Steven Seagal movies for the acting. You buy it for the action. Next up is Jim Gaffigan, Beyond the Pale. This is just like a stand-up routine, and it has his first stand-up routine from 1991 on here too, which I definitely want to see. And I think he's a very funny guy, and I love comedy shows. If you know me, if you follow my channel, I go to comedy shows at least once a month. Very cool. Had to pick this one up. And next up is Juno. This is the one that put Ellen Page and Michael Cera on the map. Now when I first heard about this movie, I thought, oh, I'm not going to like this, and I went to go see it. And I'm glad that I gave in and went to see it because I actually really enjoyed this. It was a very fun, quirky movie. Just the special edition, a butt ton of special features, so very cool. Had to pick it up. Love the movie. Highly recommend it. I think everybody knows the story of Ellen Page. She's a teenager and she's pregnant, and she's going to give up the baby for adoption to a couple, Jason Bateman and Jennifer Garner, and she meets them and just all kinds of the quirky things that goes on. Fun movie. And next up is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Silence of the Lambs. This is a classic. Jodie Foster was fantastic in this. So was Anthony Hopkins. I do like Manhunter probably a little bit better. Manhunter does not get the credit that it deserves. If you like Silence of the Lambs or Red Dragon, definitely check out Manhunter. Red Dragon is basically another adaptation from the same story of Manhunter, and I definitely prefer Manhunter. So definitely check Manhunter out. Let me know what you guys think if you've seen Manhunter. I don't think it gets enough credit and deserves way more. But Clarice Starling, phenomenal heroine. One of the better heroines that I can recall personally. Love this movie. Everybody knows it. It's a classic. Buffalo Bill, everything. Amazing. Have you guys ever seen that Greenskeeper video, by the way, with the Silence of the Lamb and Buffalo Bill? That video is hilarious. Classic. And next up is The Kingdom, starring Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Garner. Basically, there's an FBI unit going over to Saudi Arabia and trying to find like a bomber, this terrorist guy. There's definitely some gripping scenes in it, and I enjoyed it, so I decided to pick it up. And next up is Street Fighter 4, The Tie That Binds. Now, I'm not sure if I've actually seen this or not. I remember I was watching one of them and I saw different clips. I never saw the full thing of it. And I think it might be this one, but I'm not sure. But I do like the animation style of these Street Fighter movies, so I decided to pick it up. And this is the collector's edition. It comes with the soundtrack as well. And it has like some different stuff for the PS3, some 5 free costumes, brawler pack, and some collector's hint book. That's kind of cool. I'm probably never going to use this, so if you guys want the code for this, let me know. I'll give it to you, whoever's first to see this. I haven't played video games in years, so if you guys want that code for the brawler pack or the free costumes or whatever it was, hit me up. I'll give it to you. And next up is Deadline, starring Brittany Murphy and Thora Birch. Haven't seen it. It looked kind of interesting and it was pretty cheap, so I decided to pick it up. Why not? I'm not a huge Brittany Murphy fan, to be honest with you. I just remember her from Clueless, and for me, that's what she'll be remembered for. All her other roles weren't really that great in my opinion. She played a lot of rom-coms. I didn't really like her delivery and the voice that she had, the acting. I don't know. I really wasn't a big fan. I guess I remember her from 8 Mile a little bit, but I wasn't a huge 8 Mile fan either. For me personally, I'll always remember Brittany Murphy for Clueless, and the rest of the movies I really wasn't into. She was in a lot of really bad romantic comedies in my opinion. If you're a Brittany Murphy fan, let me know what's your favorite movie she's been in. But I don't know, decided to give it a shot. Maybe it'll surprise me and be a good thriller. Let me know if you guys have seen it. Next up is the 2-disc special edition of The Lovely Bones. I wanted to see this one for a while. I ended up getting it cheap on Amazon. They had like a special on it for a couple days. It was like $10.99, so I had to snatch it up. Very excited for this. Directed by Peter Jackson, and it stars Mark Wahlberg, Susan Sarandon, Stanley Tucci, Rachel Weisz. Great cast, great director. And next up is 1973's martial arts classic, Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee, phenomenal. Everybody knows this movie. Jim Kelly, John Saxon, Bolo Young, Robert Wall. Fantastic cast. Great martial arts movie. A classic in my opinion. If you haven't seen it and you enjoy martial arts, what are you doing? I imagine if you like martial arts, you've seen this movie. So many classic lines and scenes in this movie. Absolutely love it. Had to pick it up. Love the artwork on here too. And next up is an Israeli animated film, Waltz with Bashir. I've heard mixed reviews about this movie, but I saw a trailer for it and it intrigued me. From what I've read, it's inspired by actual events from the director, just different things about war and forgotten past and friends and nightmares and crazy things like that. Hopefully it'll be worth it. This one was a little expensive, but I was really intrigued by the trailer and I decided to take the chance. Next up is an action movie, The Losers, right here. It stars Chris Evans and Jason Patric, and Zoe Saldana, the girl right there. Oh my gosh, is she beautiful. Mwah! Haven't seen this movie, and I ended up seeing it for inexpensive on Amazon, so I decided to pick it up and take the chance. It looked kind of fun, but kind of cheesy. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if you've seen it. Next up is Cop Out. I kind of avoided this for a while because it looked kind of cheesy from the trailers, and I heard a lot of negative things. In fact, I've heard all negative things. I don't think I've heard a positive review about this yet. It stars Bruce Willis, who's typecast as a police officer, and Tracy Morgan right here, who I'm not a big Tracy Morgan fan personally. Just because you curse a lot and act like an idiot doesn't make you funny, in my opinion. I've seen him live. I went to a stand-up show of his, and we got there late. Usually I like to get there early so we can sit right up in the front. My date and I got there late, and we ended up sitting in the back because all the seats were taken, and it was actually right by his dressing room, I guess, and he had like a whole entourage with him, and they came out and they were all drunk, and he's actually sat down at the table with us and started BSing. He was making fun of the club owner and stuff like that. He was really drunk. When he got up there, he was like slurring the name. I think he said the club owner's name incorrectly. His friends were talking to some other girls over there too, and the dressing room kind of smelled like marijuana. This comedy show is very dirty and raunchy and sexual and lots of curse words, so definitely, if you don't like that kind of stuff, don't go to any of his stand-up shows. Very raunchy. But this looks kind of cheesy. I don't know. I decided to take the risk and check it out. I'm a big Bruce Willis fan. Love Bruce Willis. One of my favorite action films of all time is The Last Boy Scout, starring Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis and Danielle Harris, a young Danielle Harris. If you haven't seen that and you like action movies, go see The Last Boy Scout. Very underrated. Love that movie. Last Boy Scout. Check it out. Hopefully it'll be decent. It's a blind buy. A lot of blind buys in this one. I want to branch out and check different things. For the inexpensive prices, I'll take the risk, and if it doesn't work out, if I don't like it, I can just resell it or give it away as a gift or whatever. Next up is Mel Gibson in The Edge of Darkness. I heard a lot of comparisons to Taken and things like that. I haven't heard too much about it. I've heard mixed reviews. I decided to take a chance and check it out. I wanted to see it for a long time. And Mel Gibson, of course, everything going on right now, all the things coming out with his ex and all the racist comments and things like that. I know it's hard to separate the actor or director from the movies, but and I always enjoyed Mel Gibson, the actor, all the way from Mad Max, Lethal Weapon, Forever Young, The Man Without a Face, Maverick, The Year of Living Dangerously. He's had tons of great hits, and even some of the newer ones, Conspiracy Theory, What Women Want, Signs, The Patriot, and I loved Apocalypto, which he directed as well. And supposedly he went to the middle school I went to as well in New York, so that's pretty cool too. But sometimes, like I said, it's hard to separate the director or the actor from the movies and their personal life. For instance, of course, there's Roman Polanski, Victor Salva, even Woody Allen. And now Charlie Sheen and Mel Gibson are the big ones that are always in the news. So it's hard to separate their personal life from their movies. I enjoy the movies, but the personal life, that's another opinion altogether. But if the movie's good, I'll watch it. I'm still a fan of Mel Gibson as far as an actor and director. I loved Apocalypto. I loved a lot of his movies, especially back in the day with Mad Max and Lethal Weapon, all those kind of movies. Really enjoy them. And I'm hoping this will be good. The trailers look pretty decent. Next up is Starman, Young Jeff Bridges. I haven't seen it. I'm hoping it'll be decent. It's got good reviews, so I figured I'd check it out. And next up is Crazy Heart, old Jeff Bridges. He won an Academy Award for Best Actor in this. Also stars Robert Duvall and Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's basically about a down-and-out country singer and his road to redemption. And next up is 40-Year-Old Virgin, the unrated edition. Contains the theatrical and extended versions. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite comedies. Steve Carell was amazing. This put him on the map. I first remember him as one of the newscasters in Bruce Almighty, with all the funny facial expression and the noises he was making, but this really put him on the map. Love this movie. One of my favorite comedies all time. And this really put Seth Rogen out there as well. He was in Freaks and Geeks, Undeclared, and Donnie Darko as well. This was the first movie that I ever really remember him being very comedic and standing out in. And personally for me, I don't think Seth Rogen is leading man material. He's better as a supporting role. For instance, in this. But I love this movie. It's such a crazy fun movie. An all-time classic in my opinion. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Next up is a John Carpenter classic, Big Trouble in Little China, starring Kim Cattrall and Kurt Russell as Jack Burton the trucker. Love this movie, just some crazy visuals. And I always remember the one guy that looked like Raiden in this as well. Very fun movie, a classic in my opinion. Definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. And next up was The Edge. This was a blind buy for me. I bought it and it was like, I don't know, $11.99 or something like that. If you know me, you know I love movies with snowy settings. And I saw this had a snowy setting movie. I'd never heard of it before. It had good reviews, so I decided to check it out. And when I ordered it, the very next day it was on TV, so I got to watch it. And it was pretty entertaining. It wasn't great, but it was fun. It stars Alec Baldwin, Anthony Hopkins, Elle Macpherson is in it as well, and Harold Perrineau is in this. And one thing, Harold Perrineau, he was in Oz. He was the guy in the wheelchair in Oz. And I believe there was another show that he was on for like a one-time appearance where something happened to his legs. And in this movie, something happened to his legs as well. It seems like he's been in so many things where something's happened to his legs. I don't know if it's in his contract. He has a clause where he has to play a guy that's disabled or something happens to his legs. But I was just thinking like, wow, that's at least 3 things I can think of where something has happened to his legs. I guess he plays a handicapped person very well. It was decent. It was worth the price. Again, I like the snowy settings, and I like Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin, so it was definitely worth the pickup. Next up is Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. I personally love this movie. This is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. M. Night Shyamalan has been criticized a lot lately. I personally really liked The Devil, which he wrote. He didn't direct that one. Of course, the first three were his best. The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs. The Village I liked, but I didn't love it. And then from there it went downhill for me personally. I hated Lady in the Water. And The Happening had a great premise, but it just wasn't executed well. It seemed like everybody underacted and just didn't reach its full potential. I liked the concept, but just didn't get there. But for Unbreakable, I really enjoyed this one. I was a huge comic book geek growing up, so I could really relate to this movie. I thought the score was great for this one. I thought everything about this was really good. If you're into comic books, good storytelling, great scores, and great acting, check this one out. And next up is Into the Wild, the story of Christopher McCandless, who traveled all around the country to try to find himself. Essentially, he got rid of his worldly possessions, threw out his money, all that kind of stuff. Some people say he was crazy. Some people just say it was an inner journey to try to find himself and at one with nature and everything like that. Emile Hirsch did an amazing job, and the soundtrack by Eddie Vedder blew me away. It also stars Marcia Gay Harden, William Hurt, Vince Vaughn. The cinematography was great, the score, the acting. Loved this movie. I highly recommend Into the Wild. And next up is Tom Hanks in Big. This is a classic. I love this movie as a kid. Just a fun movie. It's basically about a kid who wants to grow up, and he makes a wish at this carnival game, and the next day he wakes up and he's older and he's big. And from there it tells the story of how he, he goes through life and how he comes back to who he is. And it's basically just a life lesson. It's a fun movie. Lots of great comedic elements. The whole chopsticks thing. And who wouldn't want to be a toy designer and test out toys and things like that too? When I was younger, I was like, that's my dream job. That seemed like so much fun. Such a fun movie. A classic. Tom Hanks and Big. And next up is John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. This is the restored collector's edition. It's a dark, gritty thriller. Check out my friend Barry, the BRB 30,000. He did a review of it, an awesome review. He's a cool guy. Definitely check out his channel. He does great reviews. Link down below. I will link it to the review of the Assault on Precinct 13. And next up is Slumdog Millionaire. It won 8 Oscars. I had no idea it won that many Oscars. It won Best Picture, of course, as well. I still have not seen this movie, so I figured it's about time for me to check it out. If you guys have seen Slumdog Millionaire, let me know what you guys think of it. And Danny Boyle directed this, and he won Best Director that year as well, and I really enjoyed Danny Boyle as a director. The Beach, Trainspotting, 127 Hours, 28 Days Later. Fantastic director, so I'm expecting something good from this. Don't let me down, Danny Boyle. Next up is Mel Gibson and Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. This is just a classic. Lots of 80s action fun, and I love that big mane of Mel Gibson's. Look at that hair. But like I said, just lots of 80s action fun. Lots of great comedic moments as well. And next up is a 2-disc special edition of Alexander Revisited, the final cut, directed by Oliver Stone. And the final cut is the whole magnificent version, according to Derek Elley of Variety magazine. I have not seen this one. I've heard mixed reviews. I figured I'd just pick it up and check it out. Stars Colin Farrell, Angelina Jolie, Val Kilmer, and Anthony Hopkins. And next up is Swordfish with John Travolta, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, Don Cheadle. I thought this was a pretty good action movie. Some crazy different elements going on in it. And of course you see Halle Berry. Mwah, muy picante. She was looking pretty damn hot in this one. And John Travolta, his hair was crazy. This was a fun movie. I haven't seen it in quite a long time. I remember seeing this in the theaters as well. I remember there's one scene in particular where Hugh Jackman plays a hacker and he's trying to hack a different thing and he has a certain time limit to do it. And John Travolta has like a girl, like I think that she's going down on him while he's trying to hack this thing and get the password and stuff. So it was kind of like, double pressure with the time clock and then the girl, and I don't know, I just thought that was a crazy scene and pretty funny. And I remember this being a good time, so I figured, what the heck, why not? And next up is Season 1 of Weeds. I've only seen a couple episodes here and there. It seems decent. I'm not sure if I love it. Now I'll be able to get a chance to actually check it from the beginning and go through in sequential order. Like I said, I've only seen like a couple episodes here or there. Let me know if you've seen the TV show The Weeds and what you think of it. And next up is Rescue Dawn with Christian Bale and Stephen Zahn. It's based on a true story of an American fighter pilot named Dieter Dangler, which is a hilarious name. It's basically how he got shot down over in Vietnam and he was taken captive, and he was a prisoner of war, and how he escapes. I actually thought this movie was really good, but it kind of missed the chance to be great. There's a couple moments where I felt like they could have made it more dramatic and held on to the scene and focused more on the tension and had the tension mount a little bit more. I think it just missed being considered a great film in my opinion. I still very much enjoyed it though. It's definitely one that I could watch many times over. And Christian Bale, one of my favorite actors, just an amazing actor. He's been an amazing actor for decades now. He definitely deserved the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. That was a gimme. Him and Natalie Portman were both gimmies for the Oscars. And next up is Black Snake Moan with Samuel L. Jackson, Christina Ricci, and Justin Timberlake. I don't know much about this movie. From what I've seen in the trailers, I guess Christina Ricci is a hussy. Samuel L. Jackson chains her up and tries to teach her the ways and gets all religious on her and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm a big Christina Ricci fan. I think she's gorgeous. Had a huge crush on her way back in the day from Addams Family, and she's still gorgeous, beautiful. And I'll basically watch any movie that she's in just to give it a chance, just to check her out. This movie looks kind of crazy. I'm hoping it'll be decent. And actually, to be honest, I think Justin Timberlake is a pretty decent actor. I think people don't give him a chance because of the whole NSYNC thing, and he's all poppy and, you know, all that, but he's a pretty decent actor in the films that I've seen him in. I personally didn't care for The Social Network, but I thought Justin Timberlake did a great job in that movie. And next up is Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth Shue, and Josh Brolin. It's basically Kevin Bacon is doing this experiment to try to become invisible, and they have to test it out on somebody, and they test it out on him, and he goes kind of crazy. Kevin Bacon plays an awesome bad guy. He plays the asshole perfectly. And this is the director's cut as well. I'm not sure how much difference that is from the theatrical cut, but this is obviously the vision that the director had, so there you go. And next up is The Women right here with Meg Ryan, Jada Pinkett Smith, Annette Bening, Eva Mendes, Deborah Messing. I have no idea what this movie's about. Just a bunch of girls. Looks like, you know, kind of like a chick flick movie. I got all these movies right here in a lot. These 9 movies right here. It was in a lot on eBay. I got it for like $30, so I figured why the heck not. I was browsing through on there, perusing through eBay, and I don't know, I just saw this a lot. I was like, you know, why the heck not? There's a few in here that I definitely liked, and there's a couple on here that I haven't seen, so I figured why not? I'll take the chance. And I ended up winning the auction, and it went for really cheap, so I was like, sweet! So that's not too bad. 9 Blu-rays for $30. That's pretty awesome. And next up is The Craft with Christine Taylor, Breckin Meyer, Skeet Ulrich was in here, Fairuza Balk, Robin Tooney, Nev Campbell, and Rachel True. Basically it's about a bunch of girls in high school. They find this book and they start doing all these kinds of spells, and they become kind of crazy and kind of mad with power. It just goes from there, and I remember liking this a lot when I was younger, so I figured why not, I'll pick it up. It was inexpensive, and I don't have it on DVD, so The Craft right there. And the girls that were in here had that kind of gothic, sexy kind of look going on. And I always remember Fairuza Balk when she was in American History X. Holy moly. She was in some crazy, creepy roles. And next up is Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorite sports movies of all time. Great fantasy element to it. This movie gives me chills every time I see it. There's certain scenes that just, I get goosebumps. I love it. Every time I watch it, I get the same feeling. It's just an amazing movie, and everybody should check it out. And there's a decent amount of special features on here as well. So I can't wait to check this out to see what it looks like on Blu-ray. Next up is Kruger 25th Anniversary Edition. This was like $10. I haven't seen it in years since I was a kid. I just remember being pretty crazy, and you know, the dog goes nuts. Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember there was also the side story of the wife having an affair and things like that. So, you know, it'd be good to revisit this, and I haven't seen it in a long time, so I can check it out all the way through. I remember it being pretty decent as well, so can't beat the price either. Cujo 25th Anniversary Edition. And next up is Patrick Swayze, may he rest in peace, in Roadhouse, Blu-ray and DVD edition, $9.99 directly through Amazon. Can't beat that price. And they do this often in Family Guy. Peter will just say out of nowhere, Roadhouse. And that always gets me. This movie was just cheesy fun. I haven't seen it in a long time. It used to be on TV all the time, and now I never see it on TV, so it'll be good to have this where I can just pop it in anytime I want. To have a good cheesy Patrick Swayze moment in there. And he plays a bouncer in one of the craziest bars ever. I don't know, he's just a badass in this movie, so Roadhouse. I think everybody knows this movie. And the Blu-ray and DVD combo pack. And see, I'm not a big fan of having the Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, all those kind of things. I think that's unnecessary, but at the same time, I don't like lending out DVDs or Blu-rays because people often mess it up, scratch it. I don't know how people do that. For me, I take it out, put it in the player, take it out, put it back in the case. I guess some people just throw a Frisbee with it, feed it to the dog. I have no idea. I've rented movies where it's scratched up. I don't get that. But I've also had people just not return movies, so I don't like to lend movies out. But this way I can give like the DVD version out if I want to, you know? It won't be a big loss. And next up is The People vs. Larry Flynt with Woody Harrelson, Courtney Love, and Edward Norton. It's basically about the publisher of Hustler magazine, an adult men's magazine, and just all the troubles that he goes through. It's kind of a dark comedy. He gets hit by a bullet and he's paralyzed. He has a big court battle. I just remember all kinds of just crazy things in there. All the different t-shirts he was wearing. And it's actually had a lot of sad moments in it as well with Courtney Love. And I'm not going to get too much into it. I don't want to give anything away. But I thought it was a really good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. And I remember really enjoying it. So I decided to pick it up. I think it was like $13 new. I thought everybody had a great acting performance in it. And again, like I said, I haven't seen it in a long time. So hopefully it'll be as good as I remember it being. A definitely very controversial figure. And very interesting as well, though. Definitely pushed the boundaries of free speech and made you think as well. Next up is Caddyshack, just a sports comedy classic. Everybody knows this movie. Just a classic movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. So many quotable lines and moments. Great movie, and can't wait to check it out on Blu-ray. And next up is a Blu-ray double feature of Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Jail. Jim Varney was the main actor. He played Ernest. And this was a pretty popular series when I was younger. There's all kinds of Ernest movies in the series. Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Splash Mountain, all kinds of different things. But he was also in the Beverly Hillbillies movies. He did voiceovers. And sadly, he passed away in 2000. So rest in peace, Jim Varney. I thought you were highly entertaining. It may not be for everybody. It's a slapstick humor. If you like Home Alone with all the different things happening there, somebody getting beat up and stuff like that, or Three Stooges, you'll probably like the Ernest movies. It was pretty cool to see this on Blu-ray. I never thought they would release something like this on Blu-ray. But it's nice to see it, and I can't wait to check it out. Haven't seen them since I was a kid. And next up is Pirate Radio right here with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Nick Frost, and Bill Nighy. This was a blind buy for me, but it's basically about a radio station that's being censored, and they go off onto this boat and they're broadcasting from the waters. And that's what I've gathered from the trailer and from reading the back of it. Hopefully it'll be decent. I haven't heard too much about it, so looking forward to checking this one out. And as always, let me know what you guys think of this update. If you've seen any of the movies and what you think of them, leave me a comment down below. And that was my update. That was the real biggest Blu-ray update in history. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.